What is poppin'? It is the Slapton. I'm but a lowly Slapton riding these DeFi waves, and this is This Week in Klimates, where I give you all of the Klimates news that is fit to go ape wild over. The third week in January 2022, where does the time go? And if you have been riding those DeFi waves with me, you may have noticed those waves have turned a bit turbulent, to say the least, which I will address by the end of this episode. But whether it's raining, or the sun is shining, or the snow is falling, or the hail is pelting, we will deliver, because this is Crypto Baby and this is Klima Baby, and we have a mission, baby. We'll start with the office hours in which Archimedes revealed that the USDC Klima LP bond is live, and if you go to the DApp, if you go to the bond tab, indeed, it will be present. And if you need a refresher, or never knew why the Klima USDC LP was created in the first place, I will leave a link, a card, at the top of this video to last week's This Week in Klima, in which that was covered. And if you need a refresher on when one should bond to the protocol, I will leave a card at the top of this video as well to remind you of that. So after Archimedes mentioned that, Dionysus mentioned that IETA, IETA, International Emission Trading Association, which is a renowned organization that facilitates the creation and adoption of voluntary carbon markets, reached out to Klima, and we are working in a working group with them in developing digital climate markets, which is the whole mission of Klima. So I will leave a link to this page on screen right now if you want to do a little bit more reading on that in the description of this video. You can check that out. And then my man Reiku Man, gets on the office hours. He is the lead of community, and he did not want to be outdone by Archimedes and Korean, who have been leaking like a sieve of late. And he leaked a ton of community news, including Klimapalooza, which is a big bash, a digital party, if you will, celebrating Klima, celebrating on-chain carbon markets. And so it would be a like I said, a big party that would bring together the Klima community, members of the carbon world, some members of the DeFi world, and dare I say some celebrities in media. That is something that I'm personally involved in, so I can assure you that that is being developed. No pressure at this point, right, Reiku? No, I like the fact that he delivered that. He leaked that, so now we have to get it done. He also mentioned that the Scam Busters initiative, which I mentioned last week, is going forward, and I can personally attest to that it is getting traction, and it is moving forward, and that should hit the Discord main server sooner rather than later. He was not done leaking. He also leaked the metaverse. If you've been hanging out in the Climate Clubhouse voice channel in the main Discord, in the Klima Discord, it is possible that you've already been invited and played with us in a proto version of the metaverse. And if you ever want to just hang out and you see people in the Climate Clubhouse voice chat, stop in, because that's honestly where most of the leaking happens in this channel, because it's usually contributors hanging out with community members, and there's a lot of shop being talked, to say the least. And he also leaked a photo contest, which is absolutely being developed. We got to give those you beautiful community people some cool things to do. So that was office hours. We also have KIP9, which is the vote that proposes the reduction in APY down to 8,000 APY. This vote is currently live. It will be live until January 26th. And the rationale for this APY reduction is laid out in the KIP. I will link this in the description of the video. There are 4 options. Option 1 is to reduce the APY to 8,000 and to grant the policy team the ability to execute minor reward rate corrections. The second option would just be to reduce the APY alone. Don't give the policy team the ability to execute minor reward rate corrections. Now, all this is spelled out, what exactly that means, and I will give you a TLDR right now. Executing minor reward rate reductions means that the policy team could adjust the reward rate if, let's say, the Polygon block time continues to vary beyond the scope of what was initially determined. And then option 3 is against all of this. No policy team does not get the ability to execute minor reward rate corrections, and it does not get the ability to reduce APY. And option 4 is abstain, which means I don't have an opinion one way or the other. At the time of shooting of this video, 3/4 of the votes are coming in on option 1, and 1/4 approximately is coming in on option 3. You are the DAO. Make sure that your voice gets heard. Do not let other people make decisions for you. There was also a partnership talk. In the partnership talk, I believe it was Cy Ziggy who led it, and he had mentioned that there was a dashboard, the KI dashboard, and that dashboard would be used to track offsets on chain. So if if Klima does fulfill its purpose and we're able to build out massive utility for BCT, then that would it would follow that we would need to create a very easy way to redeem BCT on chain. So the KI, and so all these recordings, these office hours and these partnership talks are in recordings and podcasts in the Klima DAO Discord server. You can take a listen for yourself. And that KI dashboard is slated for Q2 at this time. Speaking of recordings and podcasts, Planet of the Klimates, which is the official podcast of Klima DAO, had the founder and CEO of Moss on, and Moss is a partner of Klima. MCO2s are issued by Moss, and they are bonded to the protocol. And they had done an AMA with us prior to becoming a partner with us, and they came out very well in the AMA. But I was very impressed with the founder and CEO during this talk. And the background of Moss is revealed, as well as the carbon standards that they use, and just some macro information about what's going on in the Amazon. Moss is based in Brazil, and just the, I guess you could say, challenges and the threats to the Amazon forest, what they look like, why people are deforesting and burning down the Amazon, and possible solutions that could lie in on-chain carbon credits. And then eventually we get into some Moss Alpha. And I had tweeted last week and this week in Klima that Toucan had was developing a new on-chain carbon asset. And if you put 2 and 2 together, Moss is partnering with Toucan. Toucan, as my friends across the pond say, Moss and Toucan are partnering up to create an NBCT, which is a nature-based BCT. You can hear all about it in the podcast. I will link it, and it's all timestamped, so that would be under Moss Alpha. And yeah, very exciting stuff. And at the time of the podcast dropping, it was mentioned that that would be live within a matter of days. I have no authority on when it gets released, obviously, but that is what was mentioned, so I will relay that to you. And finally, I had teased the price. I don't typically talk about price for 2 reasons. The first reason, to be perfectly honest with you, as a contributor to the DAO, I really have to be careful with how I talk about price. There's legality there. The second reason is that price fixation, especially in the early stage of a startup protocol like this, tends to be very volatile and can be misleading in terms of what's being built, what the fundamentals reveal. But at this point, I think that it is worthy of mention because it is a story in and of itself to some degree, and I will get to how it links to This Week in Klima. But if you have been paying attention, and I'm just going to show you a chart of Bitcoin because Bitcoin tends to be a proxy for all of crypto. It is perhaps the most stable outside of stable coins of crypto assets. It is the OG. Markets tend to follow Bitcoin. Crypto markets tend to follow Bitcoin. So within the last 2 months, 2.5 months, Bitcoin has fallen by about 50%. Most crypto markets, if not all crypto markets, are in the red over that period, and significantly so. I can't say this is why Archimedes put out this tweet thread. I don't know why he did, but he put out a tweet thread which is relevant to what I had just mentioned. It says, for some of you, this may be your first market cycle, and it can definitely be a bit daunting contemplating what is to come. This is also a great thing, as it means you are someone new who discovered crypto and learned about it and got involved already, a brave step. He says a quick thread. Well, I'm going to be real with you. It is not a quick thread. It is a comprehensive thread, and you should read it because it becomes quite clear as Archimedes lays out the history of DeFi and market cycles that this man knows crypto and he knows DeFi, okay? And he makes some very interesting points about what cycles look like and how we've gotten to the point that we're at in terms of DeFi. And I'll just read you the last tweet, but I will link this thread. He says, it's all coming together. If I've learned anything in the past 5 years of crypto, it's keep calm and build on. And this really is the emphasis. Turbulent times can be scary. Turbulent times can test one's conviction and confidence. But I can assure you from everything I've seen and heard in the office hours, in the Ask Me Anythings, in the partnership talks, the fact that I am in the contributor server, that I do have access to behind the scenes channels, and I know what's going on, and I know the members of the team and what they're working on, I can assure you that everybody that's involved, everybody that's a stakeholder in this DAO is building, is pushing forward, has not lost 1 ounce of conviction, has not lost 1 ounce of faith in this project, and will be building, whether it is rain or snow in the DeFi, rain or snow or sunshine in the DeFi space. That is absolutely the truth. And the last thing I'll leave you with is a tweet by Dionysus. Not to be outdone, he also has his own Twitter thread in which he addresses IETA. I will just say IETA, okay? The International Emission Trading Association. There's so many acronyms. I'll just say IETA. I like coming up with acronym very easy, KIPs and IETAs and all that. Okay, so he goes into IETA. He talks about Klima's impact on the online carbon markets and where it could potentially be in the future. Very interesting stuff if you want to look at some potential. Guys, keep calm, build on. It can get a little rough in the DeFi world. We're sticking around, we're building. And of course, above all else, ape responsibly. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Peace.